Wow, great to be here today on Joy Asonye Life. And today is our day for Eduvention culture. And what a fun to know that you are there today for Eduvention on Joy Asonye Life. Welcome to the show. Today we have a very special one, and we have a big gun in the house. He is by name Dr. Mosaku Johnson Olufemi, the Registrar CEO, Association of Corporate Governance Professionals of Nigeria. You get to meet my guest in a short while. We have a big question here to handle today on Eduvention. And Eduvention have sent us to ask you a question. What do you have in your house? There's always an answer in your house, and Eduvention says to ask you. With me today, like I said, is Dr. Mosaku Johnson of Corporate Governance, the Registrar CEO. Doctor, good to meet you today and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Light.
I'm so glad to be in this very wonderful program.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure having you here. Yes. And I know it has cost you a lot to be here today. And we want to look at Eduvention, and the question Eduvention is possible. Let's meet you, what you do in your organization first.
Yes, first of all, I'm a corporate governance practitioner. I actually have to handle issues that relates to board, psychology of the board, evaluation of the board, selection of the board, and training of board members across the country. Before then,
private and public?
Yes, before then I was the head of Training and Consulting Institute of Directors, Ikoyi, Lagos. Before then, I was also the head of training, Nigerian Institute of Management, for 5 years. And before then, I was a counseling psychologist for Lagos State. Wow. As long as the president, the Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, was the governor of Lagos State, I was the counseling psychologist for the state for those 8 years.
Wow. That means we are meeting the right person for the right reason. Yes. And getting the right result today. So, yes. Eduvention is a household word now in Africa and Nigeria, because yes. often people go to school, people go to one formal institution or the other, and we keep heaping up certificates and all of that without being able to turn it to intervention. So education on one hand, doctor, yes. and intervention on the other hand. What would you like to throw?
Yes, I want to say that it's not so much about education. I cannot underestimate the power of education.
Sure.
Without education, we cannot be here today. Education is very, very pivotal to human existence. But with education, what are we doing with education? You have a PhD. What are you doing with it? We have, I'm sorry to say, we have professors that are functional illiterates.
That's serious.
Yes, I've seen them. Professors that cannot even open a computer system.
So literacy goes beyond going to the four walls of a school.
Absolutely. Wow. It goes beyond that. As a matter of fact, every man, every woman has something deposited in them that is beyond education. It is only that education helps to bring it out. Now you can imagine, even
proper
today,
education.
Yes, proper
whether formal
education
or informal.
You can even see today now, a lot of courses have become not only outdated, but they are obsolete. I can mention them. I listed 21. I mean, few months ago, I listed 21 that today it's not relevant.
Out of place.
What is relevant is what can give you these three things. I call it ASK.
Wow.
What can give you attitude. What can give you skill? What can give you knowledge? Without these three, you are nowhere. You are nowhere. And the best for you is to go and join maybe politics or whatever. If you, I don't know. I discovered that
politics upside down, right side
or right, anything. Just, because there is no skill, there is nothing that remove that politics from him, it becomes zero. So, and that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. That's why we're advocating that even political a space should be on part-time and so on. We have seen other countries, we have studied other countries that their politics is part-time. People in the House of Parliament and all there, it's part-time, and they are doing very well and so on. So, but what we are basically saying is that education should bring intervention. Education should produce something. You know, there are two things that we need to see. One is resources. The other one is resource. You can have resources. You can. That's education. But where is the resource? Look at Nigeria. Nigeria has resources, but where is the resource? Switzerland has resource, but they don't have resources. But with their resource, Switzerland is #1 most developed nation in the world. Switzerland does not have 2% of the resources of Nigeria,
and yet they are thriving.
They are thriving.
So that is where Eduvention comes in. And together we are asking you the question: what do you have in your house? So what you have becomes pivotal to solving problems,
absolutely,
creating the much needed intervention there, and using what you know, learn, understand to intervene in the society. So very vital. It's not about heaping up certificates, going to the best school. Oh, I was in Harvard, I was in Toronto, I was in this and that. Good as they may be, that is one leg. So your capacity to turn your knowledge, whether in school, formal or informal school, to solutions, meeting problems, challenges, facing situations, and say, oh, situation, here are solutions in my hand for you. So Eduvention says, look for your 3S. To get your 1 I. And what are the 3 S? Situation on ground, solution at hand, and the strategy by which you bring the two together. Absolutely. Can you say something about that?
You said something very, very pivotal.
3 gives you intervention.
You said something very important, that your education should be able to solve problems. Now, if your education cannot solve problems, if your professorship cannot solve chemistry problem, if your professor
chemistry in the lab or the chemistry of society, if your education in the area of maybe anthropology cannot bring people from all over the world and say, come and see, this is the solution that this thing is bringing, that education is as useless as it is worthless. So what we are saying is that, and you have rightly said it, this education should be able to provide solution. In fact, what we need today is solution. As a matter of fact, whether you went to public school,
private school,
overseas, or formal education, village education,
or Garki grammar school, it doesn't matter. What matters is what solution are you bringing? Without solution, we are not there. In fact, we don't need president in Nigeria. What we need is solution provider. That's what we need. We don't need governor. What we need is somebody that will convert resources to resource. That is what we need. Incidentally, we have not been having this. We've not been putting this together. So it's not
about just critical leadership, but a critical leadership that can turn churn out results using resources on ground, human resources, material resources, crude resources, and converting them to solutions. This is meeting needs.
A result-based environment. Without result, we are nowhere. If you over-educate yourself and you are not bringing result, it is as good as you don't have education. Look at that Mr. Organizer on the road. The guy is bringing results.
Yes.
Okay, now
he earns money.
Yes, he's bringing
pay his children's school fees, and possibly he may even have a master's degree holder.
Yes.
in his house that he is feeding, and that one is carrying his certificate up and down, looking for jobs.
Tell me today, because we are talking about education and intervention. Tell me today, how many professors of mechanical engineering can fix their vehicle if it stops on the highway? How many of them?
Without having to look for their mechanic and say, oh boy, come, this thing stops.
That guy is a professor of mechanical engineering, and he cannot fix a problem on his vehicle. He has to call that drop out to come and fix it. And that's why I had to organize a program. I call it You and I. What does You and I means? It means university and industry.
Wow.
So that Mr. Professor, Mr. Lecturer, educator can be able to convert whatever they know into usefulness in the industry. Because there is no need for you to have 25 PhDs when those PhDs are not needed in the industry.
And that is, Doctor, that's not to say we are attacking or confronting the place of virile education. It's great. But we're saying whether you were in school, formal or informal, place beyond learning, there should be an earning. Your learning should yield earnings. Your learning should bring solutions. It is not just about the principles. One can know the principles, but is bereft of the practices. So the principle, you know, should become workable solution. So Eduvention says, what do you have in your house? Meaning, for every situation you find yourself around you, there's always also the solutions. For every problem, doctor, there's always what?
A solution.
The solution, the potential to meet it.
And every man.
The production, the prospect.
Yes. Every man and every woman have been created, have been manufactured,
woven
in such a way that there is something in them that can solve problem in their environment. Every man. There is no man, there is no woman that has nothing to offer. There is nobody that.
So in other words, we are all loaded. But coded. We need to be able to decode what we carry for solutions and download our essence.
Absolutely. Because we cannot just be come and go. This is the point of coming to the world. This is the point of leaving the world. Between here
the two brackets
and this bracket.
Bracket open, you come in,
you
bracket
are
close.
Deposited with. It is incumbent on you as a matter of compulsion, as a matter of necessity to bring it out. And what we need to do now is to start strong advocacy for everybody to look inward. To see what they can beyond their education. In fact, the best that anybody could have in this world is education. Without education, man is close to being considered as useless.
So information management is critical.
It's critical.
You've gone to school, you've not gone to school, what do you know upstairs?
So the best for everybody now is to sit down and look inward. What is it that I am set out in this world to do? Incidentally, majority leave the world without ever
discovering purpose,
touching that purpose. And it's like a good soup without salt. That life is like a good soup, very good soup, but no salt in it, because it's not bringing out the
real savor,
the
real taste. That's why in Saba Resources, the School of Articulation and Behavioral Alignment Resources, Saba Resources Intervention Hub, we came out with a training and an equipping called the 3D factor. 3D. And what do we do in the 3D factor, whether you went to school or not? Discovery, you find out who you are.
Yes.
that is the know issue. Then development.
Development, yes.
You develop what you have discovered. That is the grow issue. And then delivery. That is the show issue. So we call it the no grow show strategy. Action. Critical. Hitting the ground running with the knowledge upstairs. Solving problems. And doctor, we even discovered that for every problem you have is always a door to your potential. The problem you have knocks the door of your potential within and your prospect without.
Necessity
is the mother of invention. People say.
So we have to understand that every man is born with innate ability to innovate.
To create something new.
Why did we
useful.
have aircraft? Why did we have aircraft? Two brothers are in their father's compound. They saw bird flying. And they said that, one of them said, can't bird fly like this? The other brother said, I think human being can also fly.
The Wright brothers.
And they started to work.
Imagining it.
They don't have superlative education. No. But they immediately started to work and they gave us aircraft. I was told by my dad that in those days, before the advent of aircraft, when they are going to London, they spend 3 months and 4 days on the river.
Can you see?
From Marina to London, that's what they spend. I'm not talking about America. Because they are spending, far more than that.
And with plane now, you can do it 6-7 hours.
7 hours.
You are in Europe.
So it then means that bringing out your potential, bringing out your ingenuity, you are helping mankind to run at a faster,
at a jet speed. You bring ease, you bring convenience. So what is that thing within you that says, hey guy, you went to school, but can you look at this? Can you solve this? And anytime you have problems, it is just knocking on your internal resource base, your potential to generate solutions out, potential inside, and then prospect outside. But doctor, why is it that we are so quick and fixated? Once a problems come, you either go religious about it. You even hear people say, I reject it, no problem. And then poverty begins to mount.
To pile up.
You can't solve problems, and yet you need resources to solve your own problems. We discover in Eduvention class that until you are able to generate solutions for others, you don't have your problem solved. Value creation is critical.
Nobody can hide under religion to be slothful, to be idle. In fact, from the first point of the Bible to the end, there is nobody that does not have a work.
You hear people say, I pray through to become rich. No. Is there something like that?
Everybody
to break through.
No, everybody. At a point, they said that much talk is poverty. But work brings riches.
Especially when that talk is not producing value for some people.
So rather than to hide under religion and so on, the best for everybody is to look at himself.
On the searchlight inward.
I think that searchlight, we need to make people to see it. The first point in searchlight is vision. The first one. In fact, there are 5. And one of these 5 I'm going to mention, one must not miss. If you are searching yourself, bringing something out of you, the first point is vision. Vision is the picture of the future.
That you can see while you are awake, or is it when you sleep?
While you are awake, you tell yourself, in 5 years' time, this is what I'll be doing. I resigned a job. I was in insurance selling my career. When I got to that place, I joined staff boss, entered into the lift. My office was on the 6th floor. I got to my office. I sat down and I asked myself vision question. I said, in 5 years' time, what will I be in this place? I could not answer the question up to today. Immediately, I took a sheet of paper and I wrote my resignation letter. I didn't have anything I was going to do. I have a child and a wife. I said, I hereby resign my appointment. And I signed. When I was leaving that day, my HOD said, don't mind Femi is joking. That was the end of me. Till today, I've never returned to the place.
I had a similar experience too. I was a banker myself, posted to Abuja by my bank. And when I looked at it, for how long will I be insecure? And I had the world already running in my inside.
Wow.
Until one day, almost 2 decades now, I just felt that the banking sector was too tiny for the world inside me. So when I wrote my resignation letter, my regional manager called me, invited me to his office and said, young man, are you sick? Any problem? These are the days when you finish your degree, university degree, you run to Lagos for one merchant bank and for one commercial bank picking you.
Vision.
Then I left mine.
Vision.
Because so one thing that came out of my mouth that the man expected it tomorrow when he said, young man, any problem? You sick or what? I said, sir, I've gotten some passion. I want to go and give expression.
Yes, to that passion.
As soon as I said that, the man stretched his hand and said, oh, congratulations. And then my superior officer, the next in line, when he had, came and met me on my desk and said, young man, do you know the step you just took now? I've been struggling for the past 10 years.
To take it.
How did you do it?
Yes.
Eventually the man was sacked. His fear caught up on him.
Can you see?
So when you don't have vision, a preferred picture of your future now while you are wide awake, please send to us. We will support you to attain that goal.
I'm still in number 1. I'm going to number 5.
Please, can you mention number 2 quickly?
Number 2, skill. You have to develop a skill
in line with your vision.
You have to look, you can have 13 PhDs, but you must have a skill.
Maybe that's why somebody called PhD pothole digger.
Now, if you have skill, you cannot be without people. That a fruit or tree that has fruit is always being visited with stick and so on. You cannot be helpless if you have skill. People will need you. I'll build my house. This one we say we need you. In fact, I have clashes of today now. I left Lagos this morning. I have clashes. Today I'm supposed to be in several places. When you have skill, people will need you. Because your skill will always meet a need somewhere. We meet a need. Skill meets needs. Skilled are meant to meet needs. That it is very, very important. Then the third one is resources. So the first one is vision. The second one is skill in line with the vision. And then the third one is what, doctor? Resources. Dr. Femi says you need resources. He is the registrar CEO of Corporate Governance Professional of Nigeria, while I am registrar CEO Institute of Behavioral Alignment of Nigeria, Chief Consultant, Cyber Resources Intervention Hub. And all we are saying is that Eduvention have asked us to ask you a question. What do you have in your house? Do you have vision? Do you have, what's the second one? Skill. There are actually 5. In line with your vision. And then you have resources. Number 3. That's number 3. Yes. Number 4, you must have incentive. What do you mean by that, sir? Incentive is the word that goes to form incentives. Wow. The same way motive goes to form motivation. When I was at the Nigerian Institute of Management, I was the best staff of the year. And when I got to the Institute of Directors, I was the best staff of the year throughout. Why? I was self-motivated. At a point, my friend in N9 was telling me, he said, Femi, do they say they are not going to pay salary, that you are running up and down like this? I say, no, I'm not just running up and down for salary. I'm running up and down for passion. So meaning even for our retirees and senior citizens, they shouldn't live on pension. No. They should work on their passion. I'm a member of the board of Post-Retirement Council in Lagos State. Lagos State government appointed me. I've been speaking to retirees. I told them, I say, when you retire, you have 24 hours. And also, what you are not able to do before, this is the time to do it. I don't want to hear that somebody goes to sit down start to play Ludo after retirement.
Swelling and all kinds
retirement
of
is that
they die early.
Retirement does not mean that you are going to sit down at home. It is to refire you for another. It's a phase, the phase of work, another phase of life. So it is very, very important. That's number 5. Action plan.
Wow.
Every of this, if you don't put it to action, you are wasting your time.
So please, doctor, can you mention
vision,
5 in a jiffy? Vision, what you can see about your tomorrow. Skill. Resources,
incentive, self-motivation, incentivize yourself.
And when you are self-motivated, it will show in your passion. You don't sit in one spot.
No.
Some of us are finding it difficult to sit in one spot. You are needed variously. Everywhere.
They
call you doctor, please can you do this? Please can you do that? And people around you begin to wonder, is he the only one?
That's it.
It is the man who carries the fire that gets connected.
I have to be carrying diary everywhere because appointments are clashing. We need you here. That's how it's supposed to be. And then for everybody.
We have a critical mass who will sit down. The worship plays on Sunday. Monday morning, they are going back there again and praying. They want breakthrough. Tuesday, they are back. Wednesday, they are back. Now, when do you plan to face reality?
But I saw somewhere in the scriptures.
Okay.
1 Thessalonians 4:11.
Yes.
And 12. He said, aspire to live quietly. He said, mind your own business. Do your own business. Say, work with your own hands so that you will not depend on anyone. That when I saw that, I was 19 years old. I said, what? So I said, this is life. Since that day up to this morning, I've never depended on any man ever. I don't have somebody to say thank you for yesterday. I don't have that man. I don't have that man.
Eduvention says you don't only have handwork. You also have mind work.
Yes.
You have mouth work.
Good.
You have feet work. You have knee work. Whatever you can use, good, please use it. In as much as it is solving problems. Now, look at our stars. Look at some of these comedians. Look at the Baba Ali of this world. How they transform just comedy into real time
into business,
and they are smiling to the banks.
Yes,
that is Eduvention.
I went to Alibaba's office one day. I thought I was inside the bank.
That man is a heavy business mogul.
I thought I was in the bank
because he used his skill, his talent, and all of that, and before you know it, he solves problem.
That's it.
So very vital. What do you have in your house? So where is the house? And we'll come back to answer the question, where is your house? Thank you so very much. And join us in a short while as we answer the question, where is the house?
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do it.
Politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment. Fashion. Culinary skills.
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside the pot.
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis and current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Break. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
Exactly, and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do a lot.
politics,
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first, I'm going to be pouring the oil inside the pot, and I will
religious and cultural events, amongst others, on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
Nigerians are living in 5%. Our young people, we propose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
We found that the turnaround was not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
Kaftan
p.m.
TV News.
This is Joy Asonye Live, and today I'm stepping in as we ask you the question Eduvention has asked us to ask you. And we've been doing that for the past half an hour with our special guest on the program who flew in all the way from Lagos and here with me answering and asking the same question Eduvention have asked us to ask you is Dr. Mosaku Johnson Olufemi, the Registrar CEO of Association of Corporate Governance Professionals of Nigeria. Doctor,
thank you very much.
Again.
Very well. Thank you.
We've taken this discussion so deep, and you told us the 5 key things we need.
Yes.
Whether you were in school or you were not in school.
Everywhere.
Look at people like Bill Gates and some of those guys, the founder of Apple and the rest of them.
Yes.
Some of them were even dropouts because of passion, innovative ideas, problem-solving skills. So, Doctor, from this foregoing, what can we do to be eduventionally compliant?
Yes.
Solving problems, creating solutions, and meeting needs.
Yes, I think that there is the need for serious advocacy in this particular line. The first problem is that human being will never understand that he has so much embedded in him. And we are a steward of our talents. Every man on earth has one talent or the other.
So in other words, talents define and describe you. Your constituency,
that
your
is it.
critical mass
Exactly.
is found located in your talent.
Exactly. And incidentally, many are working incongenially with their talents.
Can you break that down
and
for us, Doctor?
What it means is this: no man can be a champion running in another man's lane.
Wow! So you need to find your lane.
Find your lane.
Get your feet there.
Exactly.
And set out.
You cannot be a champion in another man's lane. It's not possible. Find what you are here to do. So every man is here for an assignment.
So, Doctor, the issue of trial and error, a jack of all trade and master of none, will not work.
There is no problem about jack of all trades. There is no problem about
running up and down.
But you must find out
at the end of
the day, so that you not run in vain. So that what you are set here to do, because I want every man to know, wherever, anywhere in the world, from Casablanca to Ethiopia, from Ethiopia to Jamaica, from Jamaica to Afghanistan, that every man on earth is here for an assignment, and it is incumbent upon that man to find out that assignment. And considering the situation where I cannot find out the assignment, that life is considered not only useless but worthless. So
in other words, whether you were in school or not, you were here with a purpose tag.
Absolutely.
And that is why in Eduvention, from the School of Articulation and Behavioral Alignment Resources, we have an incentive that we're giving you for free. Just send to us, send to me, James Komolafe. Google out my name on YouTube or anywhere, and my number 08035 999 220 will send you a free incentive to help you connect with yourself as an institution, as an individual, as an organization, as a family, so that you can come to the place of your best fit, where the resources within you can showcase responsibility out there in solving problems, in meeting needs. Value creation is the bottom line. So Eduvention says you have something with which to solve problems in your house. Where is your house? Your heart. As an individual. In fact, a wisdom book says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, meaning the result for the outward is in the inside.
Yes.
And a wise king said, as a man thinks, so he is.
It cannot be exactly opposite of what he thinks.
So your thought pattern tells us whether you are going to be poor or whether you are rich. It's not what you have in your pocket, in your cloth, but what you have inside you. What knowledge, what skill, what vision, what is the driving and motivating force of your own existence. Very vital. Whether you are in the regular job, you are a self-employed entrepreneur, whatever preneur, infopreneur, entrepreneur, mindpreneur, mediapreneur, everything is preneur. You must have that sense now that you can turn knowledge to service, block gaps, identify loopholes. How best can you make a service, particular service, convenient and comfortable? This morning, of blessed memory, I was listening to the AIT, you know, of blessed memory, Chief Aleo Dokwesi died exactly a year ago.
Yes.
And I was so thrilled when I heard that the man was a marine engineer.
He was a marine engineer.
And from there, he navigated to broadcasting. And you see the result speaks.
I was speaking somewhere.
It's not a bad certificate.
I was speaking somewhere in Abuja here some years ago. Dokwesi was there, listening to what I was saying. He now just called one of the senior people there. He said, let this guy be on Kakaki tomorrow.
And that was the type of man he is.
He identified that this guy has something to offer. He said, he just called the guy.
And before you knew, you were on Kataki.
I was on Kataki the following day.
That's how life should be.
Yes.
You should be able to identify resources.
Yes.
Wherever you find it, human resources. Accommodate people. Have a large heart. You can't be concave and you are just within yourself, transacting with yourself, communicating with yourself, conversing with yourself, and thrive. It's anti-eduvention.
It's not possible.
Education must meet with intervention.
Yes.
In the marketplace of offering solutions. And critical strategy will help you to just advance this.
In order to advance this,
yes, sir,
you have to go to picnic. Until you go to picnic,
yes,
you cannot advance it. What do I mean by this?
Yes, tell us.
Picnic is not the picnic that people are going to play. It's a picnic of serious business.
Wow.
PICNIC. Good.
An acronym.
P stands for planning.
Wow.
Planning is the number one function of management or any endeavor in the world.
And he who fails to plan is planning to fail. So picnic, yes. What is I?
Integration. Every of your resources, your intellectual resources, your psychological resources, every resources you have, you must put it on the table.
Lay out the cards out of the bag.
Yes.
Integrate them.
Bring it out. Then the next one,
C.
Coordination. You must coordinate your intellectual capacity. You must coordinate. If you don't coordinate, you can't convert it to coins. What is coins? Money. If you don't coordinate your resources, you can't convert it to anything. It will just be there latent.
So coordination is the way you arrange what you have to solve problems.
Wow. And therefore you convert it to money. What is the next one?
P, you've told us about P. What is P now? Planning. I, integration. C, coordination. And then we have N.
Networking.
Don't stay alone.
Don't stay alone. You can't achieve anything alone. Even no nation achieve anything alone. That's why we talk about comparative advantage cost.
In fact, a philosopher said a man who is entirely wrapped up in himself makes a small package. And that package contains an unhappy person.
Yes. Any headmaster in Yanya, any headmaster in Orozo must network with another headmaster in Casablanca and in Island of France.
Build a critical mass around yourself.
It must.
Interact.
Interface. We connect with people all over the world now.
Wow.
We connect with people anywhere.
So the world is a global market.
You have to network. Otherwise, there is no way. Even when you bring your ideas, you bring your talent and everything. If you don't network the idea and everything, who needs it? Who knows that your idea? In a Latin, a maxim says, "Res ipso loquitur." It says, "Good product sell itself." That was before. Today, if you have good product and you don't network, you are not selling nothing.
In fact, in advertisement, it says if you have a product, you don't advertise. Nobody patronizes. So you are in the dark. You are just like a man winking in the dark.
That is it.
And nobody gets to see what you have.
That's why Alan Kay said that every man must survive by marketing something.
And that reminds me, in those days, Doctor, you won't believe it. As a young graduate from A-levels in those days, in the 80s, I needed an admission. And you know what I did? I locked up myself in the toilet. And I was praying and commanding the vice chancellor that he must not sleep until I have admission. But I never spoke with anybody. So I was on my own. So many people are weeping in the dark. Bringing down solutions where there will be no solution.
That is the thing.
You have to link up. So speak up and out. It is anti-eduvention. To just keep it within yourself in the name of keeping secret. You don't speak out. When you don't speak up and out, you can't curry help.
Definitely.
You can't have favor.
Definitely.
Favor is a consequence
It's very, very important.
So very vital.
Yes.
Speak up. Network.
You can't. That's why you have internet to network everywhere. In fact, the people I've known on the net, they are more than the people I have known physically in my life.
You can meet multiple thousand
everywhere
within a second.
Everywhere.
So that's letter N of picnic. So what about the other I and C, Doctor?
Interaction. Interaction is the grandfather of communication.
Wow.
Interact. Awesome. You must be a good interacting personality.
Online.
Everywhere.
Offline. And on site.
You must interact. You must interact.
Especially with people of like-minded.
Absolutely.
Like-mindedness.
You must interact. Even when you have a product, you have ingenuity, you have ideas, you have talent, you must interact with people.
And you know, Doctor?
Yes.
Incidentally, in the School of Eduvention, there is a topic called critical engagement. And in critical engagement, it has 3 powers. The first power is the power of interaction.
Good.
The second power is the power of interface. And the third power is the power of intervention.
Fantastic.
So you are right. If you can't interact, you can't intersect.
You can't.
And if you cannot intersect,
there is nothing that will happen.
How do you combine problem with potential and generate a prospect for production?
Nothing will happen.
You need to interact.
Nothing will happen.
So critical.
Interacting everywhere. In fact, online alone, you can immediately you can sell so much. Some people do you know what they say now. What do you do for a living? I only sell online. I met a lady we were stranded at Abuja airport last December, and I asked her, please can you check my load? I want to ease myself and so on. I came back and we started to talk. The guy said that I only work online, and he said it is a multi-million naira.
It's a huge market waiting to be
explored. Me all over the world.
You should have a sellable content.
I said, do you have shop? He said, I'm just trying to open one in Port Harcourt. I stay in Abuja, but I don't even need shop. I don't even need it.
Most of my jobs, I do it online too.
She said,
do I have an office? I must meet people as a therapist and all of that.
She said to people all over the world.
And make income.
Interaction. Then the last one.
Letter C.
Control. You must control your time. You can't
control your appetite.
You can't go with everybody. Control what you do.
Make your choice. Choose your friends.
Control your time. Control your life. What is that good car without good brake?
It's a disaster going somewhere.
I saw a car 170 million. Good. Weak. It's 170 million. All right.
Only.
What is that good expensive car that has no good brake? Recall that Toyota recalled a lot of vehicles about 2 years ago. Why? Because of one problem. Brake control. So you must control your time. You must control your resources. You must control your energy
and your appetite. Don't do impulsive buying.
No.
Oh, now I have money.
No.
I can change anything. You change anything here and there and buy impulsively.
Investors are the rich of the future. People that spend, they cannot acquire anything in the future. It is the investors.
So don't spend all. Have a culture of savings. Put a knife to your throat. Not everything that smiles while you pass by
so
a restaurant
that will attract you. In Eduvention, you must go to picnic. You must go to without going to picnic.
Well, for the sake of people just joining us now, what is this picnic? Is it Lekki, Peninsula picnic, or go to any of these?
Picnic stands for planning.
So it's an acronym. It's not saying you should just go and catch fun and you say I'm in a picnic. It's an acronym. Where P stands for what, Doctor?
For planning.
Planning.
Yes.
What about the I?
Integration.
Integrate your
knowledge, skill, and everything integrated.
So how about letter C?
Coordinating your energy, coordinating your resources, coordinating everything about you, and converting them to
solutions, commerce, from concept to construct, and then commerce.
Absolutely.
Wow. So that is PIC. And letter N, Doctor?
Networking.
Don't stay alone.
Networking. You can't just afford to stay alone. You are finished. That's the end of the person that stay alone. That's the end.
And then when you draw the nexus, the convergence,
yes,
where some people will say, it's my idea. No, nobody must know about it. I must cover it. And they keep covering and covering themselves.
That was when we were in primary. Cover your book. That was when we were in primary 1, not today.
So anybody who covers up now will be covered.
He will be covered. He will be there covered. So, in fact, with blankets.
So blanket of poverty, I guess. And the poverty level will begin to rise.
Yes,
like mountains
no poverty. What is lacking is knowledge. There's no poverty.
So actually in life,
no poverty.
Eduvention says you don't have money problem. You only have wisdom problem. How to manage yourself, manage your resources, manage your environment, manage your space.
Even nations that are poor. It's not that they are poor. It is because there is no knowledge to bring out what they have. A state in Nigeria, Kogi alone can feed the whole of Africa.
With the problems
they will have, because I'm talking about knowledge.
Wow.
Once you put knowledge in place, that's okay.
So you told us about P, I, C, and what about the I again?
I say interaction.
Interact with people. Make friends that takes you up. Make friends that take you up.
Let your life goes everywhere. Interact.
Be known for something. Stand up for something. So that you don't fall for everything.
Yes.
And the last letter, doctor?
Control.
Self-control. Power without control.
Control, yes, it's absolutely.
It's mishap. It's failure.
So it's very, very critical.
And Eduvention says you have an answer. So check yourself.
Education.
Inside out.
Convert education to resources. Convert education to money. Convert education to meaningful things. A country of Switzerland is the most developed nation in the world, and it does not have 1% of the resources of Nigeria. All the world bodies, ILO, WHO, UNICEF, about 150 world bodies, they are headquartered in Switzerland. And this is a country that is on the ground poor, but on the edge so rich.
So now let's draw a curtain here. What are we saying? Nation states, governance, institutions must begin to turn the searchlight inward, not downward. Not just what is in the ground in terms of mineral resources, as important as they are, gas, PMS, crude resources, petroleum, but the resources of the mind. Let's mind our human resources.
That's it.
Let's put emphasis on people, developing not just our population and counting by reason of census. We should also raise human capital. Human capital is critical to 21st century economic development. On a personal note, on a family level, at institutional level. Oh, you have a school. What problem is that school solving? You have a trade. What problem is it solving? If it is not problem solving, then go back and check it again. You are not answering the question of Eduvention. Dr. Mosaku Johnson, I think you have contributed a huge lot, and we want to thank you, so very much for making it a day all the way from Lagos on Joy Asonye Live.
Thank you so
as
much.
you join up with me today to just share on Eduvention. You know, every Wednesday we have Eduvention session where we'll show you how to migrate from mere knowledge into competence and capability, where you hit the ground running, solving problems. So, sir, now you know. Your guess is as good as mine, that you have solutions for every pollution, and you have potential and prospect for every problem at hand. How do you fix it? 3S delivers your one eye. The first S, you have a situation on ground. The second S, solution at hand. And then the strategy by which you combine the two. And the 3S gives you one eye, intervention. Where are you intervening? You say, doctor, how do I create my own nexus? Very simple. Send to Dr. James Komolafe on my WhatsApp number 08035 999-220. We'll send you a free incentive that will help you to plunge into yourself and to bring out your best version. Then all the picnic mantra that doctor just shared, you will be able to engage yourself practically, and then we'll pitch you to hit the ground running. Doctor, we must thank you. What's your last word as we part
my
today?
last word is 3 C's. That we have to watch out for. We have to watch out
Number
for.
Number 1C, because of time.
Is, you have to look at your character. Even when you are developing concept, converting education
Very
to
vital.
resources.
What's the second thing?
Competence. Develop competence.
Wow.
Develop.
You're speaking like my mentor, Dr. Obieze Kwesili. And I guess the third one is capacity.
Develop competence.
Yeah.
And develop commitment.
Commitment.
If you are not committed to anything, there is no way you can achieve success in anything.
Wow, very vital. Wow. It's a thumbs up for you out there. You made this day possible. And doctor, we wish you a safe flight back to Lagos.
Thank you so
and
much.
Give our regards and nods to your association. What's the full name of your association?
Of Corporate Governance Professionals of Nigeria.
And he is the registrar CEO, and we must thank you for making it a day. Join us again next week, Wednesday, for another session on Eduvention. Thank you very much. See you next time, and bye-bye.